Back to another disturbing journey in the southern underworld. But before we get started, I'd like to ask you to please like, comment, subscribe, and share this devilish delight with your horror friends and fam. Engagement is essential, and it helps our little channel grow. Friday the 13th Part 2 builds on the unexpected success of its predecessor, further establishing Camp Crystal Lake as a cornerstone of horror cinema. Directed by Steve Miner, the sequel deepens Jason Voorhees' chilling narrative as he steps out from obscurity to seek vengeance for his mother's death. This review delves into the movie's psychological layers, thematic richness, and the film techniques that contribute to its eerie and terrifying atmosphere. The plot picks up a few years after the gruesome events of the first film, with Alice, the only survivor of Mrs. Voorhees' killing spree, being shockingly murdered. The narrative then shifts focus to a fresh batch of camp counselor trainees who convene at a campsite neighboring the notorious Camp Crystal Lake. Among them are Ginny and her boyfriend Paul, who spearhead the training. Unbeknownst to them, Jason Voorhees, presumed drowned in childhood, has been residing in the nearby woods, nursing a grudge against anyone bold enough to intrude on his domain. As darkness descends, Jason embarks on a ruthless killing spree targeting these unsuspecting counselors. The film culminates in an intense climax where Ginny faces off against this masked murderer in a desperate bid for survival. Friday the 13th Part 2 deeply explores fear's psychological aspects by exploiting basic instincts and examining trauma's lasting impact. The movie's psychological terror stems from its study of human vulnerability, isolation, and Jason Voorhees' folklore. Fear of what is unknown forms one of this film's most potent psychological elements. Like the characters in it, audiences remain uncertain about Jason's looks and actual motives. This uncertainty keeps the audience anxious, because unexplained or unseen elements can be more frightening than anything shown explicitly. The enigma around Jason's survival and his plunge into insanity adds psychological depth to the horror. The camp's remote location, far from civilization, heightens the counselor's vulnerability. The thick woods and isolated cabins generate a feeling of confinement, with characters cut off from possible help. This recurring theme of isolation escalates tension as characters realize they are stranded and at an unseen predator's mercy. Jason Voorhees' actions are motivated by his mother's traumatic loss, a trauma that has twisted his psyche and ignited his ire. This examination of trauma lends a psychological aspect to Jason's character, transforming him from a mindless killer into a tragic figure molded by his past. As the counselors become conscious of the lurking danger, paranoia sets in. Their heightened alertness and mutual suspicion mirror basic survival instincts. The film effectively depicts this paranoia's psychological impact as characters wrestle with their fear and the realization that they must fight to live. The final showdown between Ginny and Jason delves into psychological manipulation. Ginny attempts to empathize with Jason by invoking memories of his mother, an act that not only underscores her resourcefulness, but also emphasizes the intricate relationship between fear, empathy, and survival. Director Steve Miner utilizes several cinematic techniques to craft the film's eerie atmosphere. These methods collectively immerse viewers in terror while intensifying psychological tension. The film's visual style uses shadows and natural lighting to generate a foreboding atmosphere. Camp Crystal Lake's dark woodland setting is depicted with stark realism that enhances isolation and dangerous feelings. POV shots, especially those from Jason's viewpoint, place viewers in the predator's role, escalating unease and anticipation. Harry Manfredini's familiar score returns, with its haunting kiki mama ma motif indicating Jason's presence. The sound design builds tension meticulously, using silence punctuated by sudden loud noises for shock value. The forest's creepy ambient sounds combined with minimalist musical cues create an auditory environment that amplifies psychological horror. The film's editing is rapid and intense, alternating between tranquil scenes and violent ones, creating a disorienting effect. This style reflects the growing anxiety and chaos of the characters, keeping the tension high throughout. The pacing is designed to build suspense, with periods of eerie silence leading to sudden outbursts of violence. Friday the 13th Part 2 uses symbolic imagery to deepen its horror. The recurring water motif, linked to Jason's drowning, acts as a chilling reminder of his past trauma. His hidden face represents human duality and hidden motives, adding psychological complexity to the story. Miner focuses on showing the emotional states of his characters. Close-ups capture their fear and confusion, making their experiences feel tangible. This emphasis on character development ensures audience investment in their outcomes, amplifying the emotional impact when they die. The performances in Friday the 13th Part 2 play a crucial role in conveying its psychological horror. The actors deliver masterful portrayals that add depth and realism to their characters' experiences. Amy Steele excels as Ginny, transforming from a carefree counselor into a determined survivor. Her performance captures Ginny's vulnerability and strength. John Fury gives an impressive performance as Paul, the head counselor. I found him to be one of the more relatable characters in the film. Warrington Gillette introduces audiences to a new version of Jason Voorhees, while maintaining his menace and unpredictability through physical performance alone. Friday the 13th Part 2 goes beyond being just a slasher film. It offers social commentary and explores complex themes that resonate beyond its narrative. It highlights negligence consequences using Jason Voorhees' tragic drowning as an example. It serves as a moral lesson about the importance of accountability. It explores parental loss's psychological impact through Jason's revenge against the camp counselors for his mother's death. The portrayal of Ginny as the final girl emphasizes survival and resilience. Her journey reflects human endurance and resourcefulness in the face of horror. The film explores the fear of the unknown, making its horror more visceral and immediate by keeping Jason's identity and motives a mystery for most of the film. Friday the 13th Part 2 successfully continues the iconic horror franchise, delivering a chilling tale that expands on Jason Voorhees' mythos. Steve Miner's direction, strong performances, and innovative cinematic techniques create a terrifying yet thought-provoking film. Its symbolism, haunting atmosphere, and psychological intricacies ensure it leaves a lasting impression on viewers. Friday the 13th Part 2 remains a classic in the horror genre, invoking deep psychological fears using minimalist techniques and relentless pacing. I didn't like this one as much as the first, but don't let that deter you from seeing the sequel. Whether you are a horror enthusiast or an occasional viewer, I still feel like Friday the 13th Part 2 is worth the watch. Friday the 13th Part 2 is a horror mystery thriller that is 1 hour and 27 minutes long and rated R. The Southern Underworld gives it 3.5 bloody knives. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. See you next time. Thank you for watching.